Hi everyone, welcome back to the mdlove podcast. Here's another episode 11, and it is another episode where I'm talking about the hoax because I don't know, I started feeling lately like the believers don't talk about it enough, and if they do, they're just talking about old stuff. Like there's nothing new going on, nothing interesting. So I kind of wanted to bring back the conversation about the hoax. Is Aaron Michael still alive? Why did he fake his death? Is he coming back? And while he's away, is he communicating with us? In what way? So you're probably not going to believe me, but I have answers to all those questions. And that is because in the last 5 years, I kind of researched the death hoax. And I do have to say, I am not the kind of person who believes in conspiracy theories. I never was. I am actually the kind of person, and I'm not proud of it, the kind of person that made fun of those people who, believe Elvis is alive and Tupac is alive and that, the governments are against us and, all those things. But then I started noticing things. In 2019, that's when I started to research this death hoax. And now I'm calling myself a believer because, well, like I said in my blog, it makes more sense to call us knowers because we know Michael is alive after all the research we've done. But I prefer believer. I don't know. It rings better. But anyway, today I'm going to talk about one of the clues Michael left us, which is the music video for Hold My Hand, which is the duet with Akon. And if you guys have seen it, you've seen that there are many images that they're showing like really, really fast, like in fast forward. And I actually had to look at each and every image and find out what do they mean, what they wanted to tell us. And I realized that there are many symbols that talk about life, about reborn, and about escape. So I'm going to talk about that today. And we're going to talk about some of the images that were there. We cannot talk about all of them because it's just a lot. And if I'll talk about everything, it will probably be a 1 hour episode. And I don't think anyone has the patience to listen to a 1 hour episode podcast. I don't anyway. If you guys are enjoying this, all power to you. But for me, 20-30 minutes is like my top, But before I begin to talk about the death hoax and Hold My Hand, I just wanted to say, first of all, happy December. We're now December 1st, which means Christmas is coming, which means the end of 2024 is coming, and 2025 is coming where the biopic will finally be on the big screen. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be the highlight of 2025 for me anyway, as a huge fan. I'm sure that for you it will be a big thing. I hope so. I really hope so. If it's not, then you're not a real fan, okay? There, I said it. But anyway, December started really, really good for me in my YouTube world. I don't know why or how it happened, but more people are exposed to my channel, and I got a few dozens followers in just a few days. So if you're new here, if you subscribed to my channel in the last few days, hi, thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. I hope you will enjoy this content. There are all kinds of stuff here. There's a podcast, there are videos, there are all kinds of stuff for you to enjoy. If you are a Michael Jackson fan, you're going to learn a lot about him, just like I have. And, and part of the things that you might learn if you're open-minded is that our Michael did not die in June 25th, 2009. It was actually the King of Pop who died that day, and the King of Pop had to die that day so that Michael can have a life, a safe life, a healthy and balanced life. And even though it sounds sad, it's not really, because he found a way to finally live the life that he deserves, that I'm sure he always wanted. A life with privacy, like we all have. And, him being able to walk down the streets without cameras chasing him, people chasing him. And I'm really hoping that he managed to live a very, very happy and safe and loving life. I really do. Okay, but while he is in hiding, he leaves us clues. He communicates with us. He's saying, yes, I'm hiding, but I'm still here. I still want to be part of your lives. I still want you to be part of mine. Something big is happening. There's a reason why I faked my death. And he's really doing his best to tell us the story of why he did what he did. And we are really trying to understand what's behind the messages, the clues, the images, the words, everything that we see. So today I'm going to focus on Hold My Hand, like I said, and it is one of many, many ways of Michael communicating with us and telling us, hey, I'm here, pay attention, things are happening. And so about 3 years ago, maybe a little longer than that, I created a video and I talked about all the symbols and clues, but unfortunately I took it down from my channel for reasons I will not share at the moment. But I decided to bring back this topic again because what I found is just really amazing, and the way they told us the story is really interesting, and you really need to pause at every image and think about what it means. And that's what I did. As you probably noticed if you watched the video, it's going very, very fast. There's so many images, and I don't know how long is this video, 3 minutes. There are hundreds and hundreds of images, and they're all telling us the story. They're all telling us that Michael is alive, that he will be born again, and he's also talking about the escape. So let's start. Let's talk about the very first image in Hold My Hand. Okay, so the very first scene of the music video starts with people standing against the wall, holding white balloons and releasing them to the air, and yelling, Michael, we love you. And then we hear a small child, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, a small child yelling, Michael, come back. So let me see if we can hear it. Did you hear it? Come back. So my question is, why would they put that in the video? As far as I know, no one ever came back from the dead, right? So why would they ask a child to ask that from Michael? So my best guess is maybe because only a child wish will mean something to Michael. Maybe to make a child wish come true. Maybe one day he will come back. I don't know if you guys have listened to the Rabbi Shmuley tape. But Michael in there stated that he is going to disappear one day, that it is very important to disappear, but he still wants to do something for the children. He will still help children. So that scene where I hear a child saying, Michael, come back, made me think about it. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe one of the things that you will do for children is come back. And maybe after all the people that tried to hurt him will vanish, will either go to prison or die or whatever, he can come back and do all the things that he loves doing in peace. You know, he will come back and just live the life that he deserves. He will be here with the fans, you know, just live a normal life without people chasing him all the time, wanting things from him all the time. And if it is true that his life was in danger, and this is one of the, or maybe even the main reason he faked his death, then maybe, you know, he won't be in danger anymore, and he could finally live somewhat of a normal life. I mean, if he will come back, and he is the most famous man in the world, it's never going to be completely normal, but it may be safe, and I think that's a little more important than normal. Okay, just my opinion. Living a safe life is more important than normal, but you know, we all have our own normal, and for him, normal is to have fans who miss him and love him and want him back. So yeah, that's what I have to say about the very first image. Okay, now let's go back to the next image. Okay, not go back. Why would I say go back? Let's move on to the next image. Okay, so the next image is, we see on the same wall where people are releasing white balloons. We're going to talk about the white balloons soon, but first, on the wall, when the people are releasing white balloons, we see a shadow of Michael. So it made me think, what does a shadow mean? What is the symbolism behind it? So I looked it up, and apparently shadows represents secret, right? So Michael is gone, and him being alive is basically a secret. Not many people have noticed it, right? In their secrets, it means dark magic. I don't know if I can find something that relates to that, but magic, definitely magic. I mean, the way he did it is magical. But most importantly, shadow represents it shadows as a refugee to escape the limelight. Isn't that what he wanted, basically? He wanted to escape the limelights. He wanted to not be seen, like he said to Rabbi Shmuley. And from his hiding place, he's still doing things. Like, I believe, still directing films. For those of you who are not aware, I have a blog, and in my blog I have a post called The King of Film, and that's where I explain my theory of how Michael is basically directing movies right now, and that I have no doubt he is behind the biopic that is coming out next year in October. And you know how I know? I mean, we just got a recent clue. So you know how Michael always loved doing things bigger and better, and it's always the most expensive one, like the music video with his sister Janet, Scream. It's like the most expensive video ever. Like, that wasn't like the first plan, like it kind of happened. Basically, anything that Michael does always somehow in the process becomes more expensive, and it takes longer. Let me remind you, the film was supposed to come out in April, and they postponed it to October. So I'm thinking they're probably going to add more scenes, do it bigger, and from what I know, creating this film cost $155 million, which is insane. But that's okay. They're gonna get like $1 billion in one day, I'm pretty sure. So the fact that everything is bigger and costs more, that sounds like it sounds like something Michael will do, like, right? I mean, who else has the imagination of Michael? Who else has the same demands as Michael? Who would care about this movie more than Michael? Do you understand where I'm going with this? So, yeah. If you are interested in reading my blog, please ask me and I will share a link here or in my Instagram. There is a link in my Instagram. Actually, you are all welcome to visit my page, which is very active. I have many opinions about almost everything, so please do yourselves a favor and just go there and read some stuff and share your opinions, your thoughts. Okay, so let's go back. We talked about the shadow on the wall. So now that I said wall, it reminded me of Off the Wall, my favorite record of Michael. Off the Wall, yeah, Off the Wall basically means crazy, right? Yeah, and it is crazy what's going on. Faking your death is crazy, yeah. I mean, it's not normal. Most people don't do it. Unless they want to scam the insurance or something. I don't know. Just a thought. But anyway, yeah. Shadow on the wall probably means there is a secret, and the secret is Michael is still alive, and he just escaped the limelights, and something crazy is happening while he is out of electric eyes. Okay, let's move on to the next image. So during the video we are seeing many roses, and a rose was used a lot during the video. So a rose is a symbol of life and resurrection. Do you remember when a rose was used in the death hoax? Let me tell you. Do you remember the memorial? Do you remember that there were roses on the casket? So what I asked myself mainly, and now you, why would they use roses to put on the casket when we know, the whole world knows, that Michael's favorite flower is the sunflower? So I checked what does the symbolism of a rose mean, and this is what I found. Roses act as a metaphor for life. After overcoming difficulty, right? We all know Michael had a very difficult time. You will find inner harmony, union, and happiness, right? So he escaped to find some inner peace for himself, right? To find his center again. After overcoming difficulty, we all know what he went through. Union, I think, my interpretation is that, he wants to do this with us. So we will be united. One day, he will come back, and we are all, the fans and Michael together, we're going to make this world a better place. If you guys remember One More Chance, where he says, I can do it by myself, he's asking for help. And so yeah, I think that it is very important for him that we are all going to be united. We're all going to be on the same page. We're all going to want the same things, and we're all going to work for it. We want a better place, just like he sang for many decades. So yeah, that's how I interpreted union. It's union and happiness. So getting back to the casket and the roses on it, I'm thinking that laying roses on a casket, they are saying by doing that is that Michael will rose again. He will be reborn again. He will rise again. And as I said, roses were shown on the music video many, many times, like almost during the entire video. So I think that tells us to just keep the hope up. Which I have to share wasn't very easy over the years. There were so many times when I was sure he will come back. Like, this is the year he's coming back. This is the date he's coming back. And I got it wrong so many times. And I almost lost hope too many times. But I don't know. I haven't lost it completely. There's something in me that knows that there's going to be an ending to this. Like one of my believer friends say, there must be an artistic ending to this. And I think the artistic ending will be the biopic. And I'm hoping that in the biopic they're going to tell us that Michael had faked his death. Maybe they'll show us how he did it and why he did it. And then maybe it will end with a question mark like, do you still love me? Are you going to give me one more chance? Do you want me back? I think it depends on how the fans or the crowd will react to the information, because let's face it, most people don't know. Most people believe that he is gone, and I don't blame them. I really don't blame them. I mean, they've seen a picture of a dead body. They have seen the trial of the doctor. The family has been saying for years that Michael is dead. I get it. I totally get it. So if you wonder why we still insist that Michael is alive after all that, that's because we see other things. And this hold my hand video, and you may say that it's just my interpretation, but it's not just that. There's so many other things that if you guys are willing to be open-minded, I will talk about them in the next episodes. I don't mind having a series where I'm talking about the hoax, because I actually love talking about it, because there's so much information and it's so much fun. It's an adventure. Remember when Michael stood in a circle in This Is It, and he said, this is an adventure, a great adventure. I'm pretty sure he meant this, the hoax. Finding out clues, trying to understand what he is trying to tell us, what is the message. It's fun. It's at the very beginning, I think the first 2 years, I loved playing detective. I loved trying to understand what is it trying to tell us. I'm sure I got it wrong many times, but as long as I got the main message correctly, which is I'm still here, I think I'm good. But anyway, let's get back to Hold My Hand. Let's move on and talk about numerology. Do you guys know about number 7? Michael is into numerology, and number 7 is his number. I'm not sure how he got interested in that, why he decided that 7 is his number. I know that there are 7 letters in his first name and in his last name. I know that somehow, he is child number 7 out of 10, right? 7 is like a big part of his life. So I found out that there's a connection between roses and the number 7. And there is a connection between roses and numerology. Do you want to hear about it? So, apparently a lot of roses has 7 petals. And the symbolism behind it is 7 petals on the flower of being led through that journey of spiritual journey. Michael is probably on a spiritual journey, and that's why he faked his death. Mastering your own creative life, right? He's very creative. He's creating films, as I believe. Becoming the infinitely beautiful and empowered person you are meant to be. Michael, yes, is a very powerful man. Many ugly souls have worked very hard to take that power from him, but obviously I believed that they failed because he's still here, and hopefully he's out there, going to expose all those ugly souls. So yeah, let's go back to the rose. Combining spiritual and personal transformation with creative expression and human nature. Does anybody remember human nature? Through a layering effect of opening like a flower into full bloom, the seed from within unfolds into the fullness of being. So I think that talks about the future. Michael is out there, he's planting seeds to hopefully create a better future for himself, for his fans, for the world, for children. That's what I believe that he's doing behind the scenes while we are not seeing him. Okay, moving on to the next clue. And our next clue, the next image in the music video is in the video you can see a kid dressed up as Michael in the Billie Jean outfit, standing in front of two red doors. And at some point he goes into one of them and disappears. What does a red door means? Symbolizes actually. So there are a few interpretations for that, and I'm going to read you just a little bit of what a red door means. A red door means welcome in an old early American tradition. If a family had a red front door, tired travelers traveling by horse and buggy would know that a home was a welcoming place to rest. And I drew a line under the word rest, and I will talk about it soon. They would be able to spend the night there. A red door provides protection. So if we believe that Michael's life was in danger, like he told his sister Toya, his brother Jermaine, and everyone he could, that there are people chasing after him, we are seeing an image of a kid dressed like Billie Jean, which is probably the most famous Michael Jackson song, goes behind a red door to be protected. There is also a biblical meaning behind this. A red door means protection. This is a biblical meaning. In the Old Testament, the Hebrew children were instructed to rub blood on their doorposts so that the angel of death would pass over their home. So the angel of death, so obviously if people were chasing him in order to kill him, that means he went hiding to be protected from the angel of death. Isn't it interesting, all those images? And it's not even like half of it. We have so much more, so I hope you guys are enjoying this. I know I do. And let's move on to the next image. And the next image is not even a clue. They are actually telling us. They are telling us that Michael is hiding. So there is a note shown. And as I said, the images in the music video are going very, very fast. So if you're not pausing, you're going to miss it. But there is a note. It looks like Michael's handwriting. And that line, I mean, they blurred most of it. And they only showed one line that says he hides. Okay, so Michael is hiding, and then right after they're telling us he hides, they're showing us an airplane. So I don't know if you guys know, but on June 25th, 2009, there was a plane leaving LAX, and no one knows where it landed because no one put it on paper. Like no one knows where it's supposed to show on the report where the airplane landed. It says nothing, it's empty. So is it possible that they are telling us that Michael took a flight in order to hide? It also reminded me of MJ Air. Remember MJ Air? It was on the stage for This Is It, where Michael is supposed to, like, I guess at the end of the performance, is supposed to go on a plane called MJ Air and just fly away. So yeah, we have that. He hides, and then they're showing us a plane. Like, it's not even a hint anymore. Like, they are telling us he hides. He means Michael, right? So I found that very interesting. Okay, moving on. So in my Instagram highlights, I'm already jumping to the very last scene, but we have more images to talk about. But let's talk about the very last scene where we again seeing a symbol that says life. So at the end, you can see someone stepping over Michael's star, in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And it is wet, and a palm tree is reflected in the water. What does that mean? Well, the stepping on the star might means that the star, also known as the King of Pop, is over, dead. Remember that I told you on June 25th, it was the King of Pop who died. That's my belief. So the pop star and the king, he is gone, so they can step on his star. I think that's what that means. So, like I said, in the water there is a reflection of a palm tree. And why did they choose a palm tree to put in the end? Let's see. First of all, let's talk about the water. Water is definitely a symbol for life. Okay, water popularity represents life. It can be associated with birth, fertility, and refreshment. Okay, so like I said, there are many symbols for rebirth, and we're gonna see that next, and I'm gonna talk about it. So water means life, right? But then we see a palm tree, which is also a symbol for life. The palm branch is a symbol of victory, triumph, peace, and eternal life. So I'm looking at the words victory and triumph. I think at the end of this, and I think the main goal of this whole death hoax is that Michael is looking for a victory. There are still people out there, no thanks to the media, who are still believing that Michael is guilty of all the things he was accused of in 93, 2005, So even though there are so many proofs that, he is innocent, there are still people till this day who wants to believe that he is guilty. I don't know why, because they're sick, obviously. But anyway, yeah, I believe that the biopic will, or at least the goal of it, is to finally tell the true story and prove once and for all that Michael is innocent. They're gonna share the story that Michael couldn't tell when he was here. He tried to, in songs, but I don't think many people really took the time to sit down and try to understand what he's actually talking about. They were just enjoying the music. But anyway, I think the biopic will finally tell people what really happened, and it will prove once and for all that Michael is innocent and that he was framed, and hopefully they will show us who's behind it, like who wanted him behind bars or even dead. So yeah, okay, moving on to the next image. Even though, as I said, I talked about the very last one, there are still a few more, like the clenched fist, for example. So there's an image of Michael on stage performing, I'm not sure which song, but you see him with a clenched fist. And that clenched fist reminded me of the This Is It speech, where, there's this red curtain behind him, and also there he is clenching his fist at the end of the speech. So what I found out is that a clenched fist is a gesture representing strength and hope. And the message is, we shall overcome. That again brings me back to One More Chance, where Michael says that we're going to do this together, that we are in this together. We are all fighting for one cause, and that is justice for him. He is doing what he can on his side. We are doing what we can on our side. We are in this together. So yeah, together we shall overcome. Okay, moving on. So there's so many images of people holding hands throughout the music video, and I guess it makes sense if the song is called Hold My Hand. But I noticed other things that are happening in certain scenes, and I'm gonna talk about it. So there is this scene where you see a family having dinner, holding hands and praying. What got my attention is the glass of milk on the table next to the girl. Now, what does milk remind you of? Well, it reminded me of propofol, the same drug that killed the king of pop. Michael used to call that milk, according to the story they told us, which is part of the hoax. So I'm seeing a glass of milk, and I'm seeing that it's right next to a child. And a child is representing new beginning, fresh beginnings, also known as rebirth. So my interpretation is, milk is what killed the king of pop, but he will be reborn again. He will be, he will come back. That's basically how I see this image. He will be here again, different, stronger, safer, but he will be here again. And even though it's just a simple image of a family having dinner, holding hands, and there's just a glass of milk on the table, I saw things in it that reminded me that Michael will come back. Okay, moving on to the next image, and the next image is actually an image that we already talked about. So, there was this kid that wore the Billie Jean outfit dancing in front of two red doors. So before he got into one of them, he stood in between the two doors. And we already said that the doors represents protection, right? From the angel of death, from evil, and it is also a chance for him to heal and start over. So the way I see this image of this child standing between two doors, it seems to me like Michael is saying, I had no other option. It was either to save my life and live in peace, or save my life and live in peace. And this is why they have two doors. Okay, moving on. As I said, there are many, many images, and they go by so fast. But even though they're going by so fast, I think they are telling one story. So in the next scene, we see grass or a ground, and right after that we see a baby standing up. So these two images that came one after the other probably also show rebirth. From underground, where you bury the dead, right? Many people believe that Michael is buried. Will be born a new thing. Therefore, the baby came right after the ground. So they're showing us an ending where you lay the dead, and then a child, a new beginning, a baby. So again, this shows rebirth. Okay, moving on to 4 images that I believe tells one story. And it tells the story of how Michael will come back. And again, it is just my interpretation. You guys can, of course, watch the video and, maybe you will see your own things, you will have your own beliefs. But this is what I've seen. So, there are 4 images. In the first one, you see a stage with a crowd, and a curtain opens a little bit, and you see a shadow split in half and a light. So there's like a mystery who's behind the curtain, right? The second image is, remember the dangerous tour where Michael just jumps on stage? So that's what they're showing. And then the third image shows all the fans that stood by the wall and releasing balloons at the beginning. So we are seeing them holding hands in the air and being happy. And then the fourth one is Michael on stage looking at the crowd and giving them the peace sign. So the story I came up with, what I think they means is, this looks like a short story of what might happen when Michael comes back. In the first image, there will be an audience. He will slowly reveal himself, make everyone wonder what's behind the curtain. And then, bam, he shows himself and shocks the world. Everyone is happy and celebrating his return. And then Michael is getting his justice and peace back, and we are all there to share that moment with him. So that's how I interpreted those 4 images. What do you guys think? Have you seen anything interesting in Hold My Hand? Or do you maybe have a different interpretation for those 4 images? Why they chose to put them together? Please share your own ideas. I'm sure you have them. And if you have questions, whatever, please use the comment section and let's talk about it, okay? So moving on to another image in Hold My Hand. So what we're seeing is someone painted Michael on a building, on the side of a building, as the King of Pop. I think as the last time we saw him when he gave the speech, with that jacket and those sunglasses and the same hairstyle. So but there is a gate in front of this image. So what I'm thinking is the King of Pop is behind the gates, right? Because they were drawing the King of Pop, not Michael. The King of Pop is behind the gates, just like he had to be because he couldn't go anywhere, right? That's one of the reasons the cop had to die and for Michael to be reborn. That's my interpretation again, okay? So another image that I want to talk about, there's an image of Michael on stage and he is looking at this starlight. So just like the red doors, the starlight means protection. That tells us that this is what Michael is looking for or looking at. And let me read you what I found on Google. A starlight symbol. Starlight symbol is one of the factors that help people relax. This is because it has the meaning of protection that it offers in the night. So, yeah, I think that again, this talks about protection. Michael is going through to the light. And not by, I don't mean, when people die, they go to the light, but Michael is very much alive, but because people believe he is actually dead, the light that he goes to is here on earth, but he's gonna have a better life, okay? He's going to his second life, as his friend says. You know, when someone died, we say they went to their next life. I think Michael just went to his second life. Okay, I hope this makes sense to you guys. I know that maybe I'm not explaining this the way I wish I could, but this is like, I'm doing my best. I hope you guys understand it. Okay, let's move on to another image. So there's an image of his hand while wearing a wedding ring. I'm guessing that means commitment. Is he committed to his mission, to his promise of the best is yet to come, to his fans? He did say at some point that he is married to his fans. That's just a little note that I wrote for myself. So yeah, why did they show MJ hand with a wedding ring? Does that show hold my committed hand? That's just one way to see it. If you guys have a different idea, please share it. Okay, let's move on to the next image. This one, I'm not so sure what it means. Like, I'm really like guessing here. But basically in the next image, we see cards hanging with a print of a hand. The more I try to understand the message in this image, the more confused I become. All I can think of is poker, a card game. Who will have the upper hand? Who will win the game? Poker face, pretending, masks. I mean, this is my interpretation of cards. Cards in the air with hands printed on them. If you guys can help me with this one, can you guys give it your own interpretation, your own idea? What does it mean? Okay, I'm gonna skip the next image because it's really obvious. In the next picture, we see a child, and I'm guessing her mother, holding hands. And on the child's pants, we see the sign, the peace sign. So I think that's very clear what this means. Okay, no need to go too deep into it. Okay, so the next two images are the glove, the very famous Michael Jackson glove, or the King of Pop glove. So the glove that was a big part of the King of Pop was removed. You see only the glove. It's not on any hand. And it is no longer needed. Michael left it behind and went through the red door. And then you see people start crying for losing the King of Pop, not knowing something better is coming. That is, again, my interpretation. You guys are more than welcome to have your own. Okay, so the next image we see is a room full of little girls singing, celebrating, and on the wall behind them, we see records like Invincible, Off the Wall, and History. So I was looking at Invincible mainly because that album basically tells us that like that's where I think the song Privacy is on. Like that's where Michael tells us I need my privacy. It's another song that he tells us one day I'm going to leave this world because I just have to. I just have to. You know, we have the song Escape, we have the song One More Chance, we have the song Privacy. We have so many songs where Michael is telling us about his world and the difficulties of his world. So him disappearing, it's just, he had to. He just had to. You know? Okay. Now, let's move on to, I think it's the last image here. No, it's not the last image. But there is an image in the music video of a tunnel. And it opens just a little bit. And there's this big light comes in. And the way I see it, it means this is like the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, yeah, this death hoax, if you are a believer like me, waiting for that happy ending can be really difficult, can be sad sometimes, can be disappointing sometimes. But we gotta remember always that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. We gotta remember the hope. Hope is very, very important in this story. I must admit that I have lost mine a few times over the last 5 years, but not completely, obviously, because I'm still here. Now that the biopic is coming, I have very high hopes that Michael will come back around that time, and he will come back to the world, and we will celebrate again, and we will remind it what's really important. I really think that this is Michael's role in role. That's his job. I don't even know how to call it, but I think he is the one that is here to remind us that love is important, that unity is important, because let's face it, with what's happening in the world right now, everyone forgot, and he needs to come back and remind us what's really important. Okay, moving on to another image. In this image, you see a man and a woman in a bedroom, and they both stand on each side of the bed. And the man is wearing a hat and is looking forward, and the woman seems like she's about to leave the room, like she is with her back towards him. So he's like looking straight forward, like he has a goal. He needs to get somewhere, and the woman seems to be hurt by that, and looks like she's leaving, and they're being separated by the big bed. So to me, this image says separation, keeping distance. Notice the man with the hat is looking straight forward, like he has a goal and he is determined to get it, while the woman is hurt and can't look at him. She doesn't see him. So I think this is the separations from, Michael had a hard life. He had many people who used him and abused him. But he also had good things that he had to leave behind, like us, the fans, or maybe some loved ones. He, at the end of the day, this hoax thing is really sad because, yes, he left the negative things behind him, but he also left the good things in his world, and he had some good things. From what I've heard from some people who knew him closely, really at the end, before he left, the only two positive things in his life were his children and the fans. Now, I have no doubt he did not leave his children. Maybe he had to for a little while, for a short while at the very beginning, but I think he was with them all those years. For some people, non-believers, to say, yeah, right, you think he left his children? No, I never said that. He was always there. We just never saw him. We never noticed that he's there. We saw some individuals in all kinds of scenes, and we thought that it is Michael in a costume, but obviously we don't know that for a fact, but it felt like Michael. I can't explain it, but there's something about the body language, the shape of his face, even though he was wearing a mask. So yeah, we saw him with his children over the years. But anyway, what I'm trying to say again is that yes, he left the negative parts of his life, but he also left some positive ones, and it looks like he found a way to still have us in his life, even though we cannot see him. And I think that's really amazing. And just the way he does things, the way he sends messages that we sometimes get and sometimes don't, but it is fun though, I have to admit. So I'm going to end this episode again with this note that says he hides, and that's how I ended my highlight on Instagram. But actually, then I remembered one more thing. So remember we talked about numerology and numbers, and how Michael used numbers to communicate with us at some point. I'm not sure I said that in this episode, but I did at some point. So I found out that the video was filmed on November 22nd, 2010. So we have 11, 22, 10. I don't know if you guys are aware, but when I'm searching for numbers, I keep learning about angel numbers. So apparently the numbers 2211, which is the 22nd of November, that represents 2211 says it's for love and relationship. So the angel number 2211 symbolizes a new chance at love, which again brings me back to one more chance, where Michael is asking, give me one more chance at love, right? Because this is what he is all about. He is about love. And when he comes back, he will remind us who he is and what is the point of all of this, and that at the end everything will be all right, and we will be happy again to see him. We will be united again, and yeah, hopefully people will understand why he had to do it. It really depends on how they're going to explain it, and we will start over, and he will do the things he loves to do at peace, and we will enjoy him in peace, and that's basically it. So yeah, Hold My Hand is all about clues and symbols about life, reborn, and escape. Like I said in this episode, you are welcome to watch the music video and give it your own interpretations. And if you find something that I haven't noticed, of course there are other many images that I haven't talked about because there's so many. But I really try to do my best to talk about the what I believe are the important ones. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, which was a lot longer than I'm used to, but I also had a lot of fun. I hope you guys were having fun listening to this. I hope I will see you in the comment section. If you have questions, comments, whatever, of course, always be respectful and nice. If you're gonna be negative or, whatever, your comment will be deleted, okay? So be respectful, and I will see you in the next episode of the mdlove podcast. So have a great week, and until next time, let love lead.